Hello, so we're going to go over budgeting. So we're talking about budgeting. So chapter 10 actually is about budgeting. So we're going to talk about that. So it's important. So this video you see he's saying why it's important. Why does he care so much about money? It's because he cares about his family. And financial freedom is one of the greatest gifts I can give them. And so he does not want his family, so he says his wife, daughter, or son to owe their souls to a debt collector, want them to flourish without losing sleep every night from unwanted bills. So just having that stability is definitely important. Okay. Um, so with this, weird. So what's one thing to help you personally stick to your budget? Your answer should come from your own ideas. So I know we talked about Dave's baby steps, but things that you can do. Um, so just think about what are some things you can do to stick to a budget. So for myself, like I do, I will list them out, but sometimes I'll just think about what bills I have, and a lot of it now everybody we have online. So I'll look at my budget online and see what I need to pay and use that to help me figure it out. Okay. So, so things to do. So everybody, you must balance your checkbook every month. So just look at how much money you have coming in. Write down every deposit. So especially when you first get started, you can write it down or you can use a spreadsheet like the one I'm sharing with you for your budget project. Make your own budget. Um, so check your monthly basic account and double check because you want to make sure one of the things that can happen is that things can be double charged. So this for this one, you want to make sure that it's not being double checked, that it's not being double charged to everybody. Check off every transaction, so just make sure. So reconcile your statement, make sure that it's all good. Okay. So for this one, write down all the fees. So we try to avoid fees though by not using ATMs that aren't yours and making sure you keep a positive balance. Okay. So this one, never trust. So just make sure everybody that you are checking that your 3 tips to help you stick to a budget. So everybody write it down. Use the envelope system, so the cash envelope system. So remember, have your cash, so you just have that certain amount to spend, like for groceries. And stay away from any unwanted spending. So a lot of times, especially now, like we're looking and make sure you're not buying things online, especially impulsively or even at the store. Just really think about if you need it. Okay. So we are going to go to this video. So we're going to watch this short video on how to save money. So she was talking about different ways to save. Obviously, it sounds like she's in Canada, but so like for Fry's, you can go on to Fry's and download the digital coupons. That's a good way to do it. So just look at different ways to save money, to buy things on sale, especially things that you can freeze, like meat or anything else like that. You got this. So when she's saying electronics, another thing to think about, so she used the example of going and buying coffee. Another thing is if you're going out for lunch every day and you're spending like $8 or $9 for lunch every day, that can also really add up. Even if you are at work and you're doing that every day, it can add up. Okay, so what do you think about the 20%? So saving 20%, that might not be realistic. So you might just be able to save like 5 or 10%, but it will add up. So essential expenses at 50%, it just might depend. So when we talked about looking for an apartment, that's why you might want to have definitely have a roommate so that you can have that 50%. So mindless spending, everybody, I was talking about that earlier. So that's just buying things that you don't actually need, that you just want. So just really think about if you actually need it. Um, so an example of something that can be mindless spending So seeing something and you're like, oh, I really want that outfit. I really want those shoes, and just you actually don't need them. So having cash, I know right now that's actually becoming something you wouldn't want to do, but what you could do is just maybe have, take that 20% or however much you're putting to savings, put that towards the savings account so that it's not in your account to get. So you can't easily get to it. Or even putting in another bank so that you can't easily get to that savings account. Okay, so we're ready for this. Keep your checkbook. So like we said every week, so double check it. NSF, we don't want to see, stands for non-sufficient funds. Everybody, that's why you'll also get remember those fees that we talked about? So if you don't have enough money in your account, they'll charge you a fee. So caused by bad habits and laziness, so just making sure that you're keeping track. Okay, again, they cost you extra fees for the non-sufficient funds. Overdrafts are a sign of crisis living and lazy money habits. Also, that's one of the fees are the ways that the bank makes money. You don't want to be paying that money, your hard-earned money, to them. Duplicate checks can help you if you're writing checks. I say like she talked about Mint and some other ways to keep your track of your budget on your phone. Using the ATM or debit card is a problem. So like if you just go, oh, I'm just going to go get it $20 out, and then $20 out and $20 out, and then you're like, where did all my money go? So people say they not doing a budget, they think of it as a straitjacket. A budget has been used to abuse them. Okay. So just never having things used to abuse them. Never one thing that really worked. Okay. So when they say abuse them, just meaning that they're like, oh, I can't do anything because it's what you can't do. Okay, so cash flow. You must do everything. Okay, so cash flow. So you definitely do have a written cash flow every month. Keep your budget monthly. Okay. So debit cards will become budget busters because you just swipe that card. So make sure that you're checking. Okay, so sometimes like I used that example before, like my SRP bill, so that the utility bill, it says it's due on the 17th, it might not come out of your account till the 20th. So just keep track of things like that. Make sure that you're not living in crisis living. And so money is one of the key reasons for divorce. So just make sure, everybody, that you're living your best life and managing your money. So money is active. Okay, that's more review. You cannot do a budget and leave things out. So like you can't go, oh, I'm going to leave out groceries, or I'm going to leave out my cell phone bills. You have to keep everything in. It says keep it simple. I'll go over an example of how to do that. You need a new budget for every month. Like for 1 month, we're going to do the example of car repairs, but maybe this month oh, I need new tires. So you're going to have to redo your budget. The budget only works if you use it and stick to it. So if you don't live on it. So the 4 walls, so the basics, so food, shelter, utilities, clothing, and transport. Never get behind on these things. Okay. So do what you can to stretch your budget. So like making like if for work, like taking your lunch to work, making it making your own coffee, making your own tea. So just even like making your own smoothies at home, doing things to stretch your budget. Okay. So doing a budget, you need to be organized. Okay. Written plan will show you where you're overspending. So you look at it and you go, is there anything I can take out, and see where you can make sure is your written financial plan to win. Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna stop right there. You got this, everybody.